We got a ton of new information on Final Fantasy XVI in a brand new drop across several media outlets with some early demos, previews, and gameplay snippets of the like. Got some information as well, including the main story length being about 35 hours, semi-open world, 11 plus hours of cutscenes. We got a companion called Torgal, who is a pupper, and yes, you can pet that dog. A PC version that will be intended to release at some point, but not in 6 months, most likely probably a year after. Active time lore system, which allows you to pause the game at any point to get specific lore points on things or people mentioned at times in the story. New gameplay of icon fights, Clive gameplay, action sequences, and more. New game plus mode at launch, and much more. So thoughts on this game?
It looks really good. Like I like what I'm hearing. A lot of people are afraid of like 12 hours of cutscenes. I love cutscenes. I'm a big Metal Gear fan. Like those games have like hours of cutscenes by themselves. So like when I get like long cutscenes, like I'm cool with playing a mission or two, putting the controller down, watching a cool episode real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice little 30-minute
Yes, in the
whatever.
episode.
But that's basically what they are. Like a lot of these games be having these long 30-minute episodes. But like I'm cool with it because I'm like smacked. I'm like, oh, let me get the chips out. You know what I'm saying? No QTEs though. You throw a QTE in a 30-minute like cutscene, I'm fighting everybody at the studio. Like we don't need that's come on, bro. I already put the controller down.
So
But
lame.
I love active time lore as long as it's done in the right way. Like it better not be like you could pause the game and we're gonna play an audio clip. Like, nah, just put the audio clip on my little podcast while I'm running around the world. Like I don't need all that. But if it's like, yo, we put in cutscenes in the game to give you lore, bro, that would be nuts. I honestly, I'm talking about this game, and it honestly just sounds like I want to watch a movie. That's really what it kind of sounds like. But I'm a big fan of everything that I've seen so far.
Bro, I need this game, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I need this game. It looks so good. It looks really, really good. Set pieces, combat, all that stuff, top to bottom. It's looking like they actually might come out swinging like really, 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 really hard. Again, Final Fantasy 15 wasn't the most impactful thing at first. It got better with the complete edition and stuff, and some bug patches over the first year, but I like the switch. People were very much complaining about this being more actiony rather than turn-based and stuff, and didn't really have the turn-based stuff in it. I do not mind this at all. People seem to forget that Final Fantasy is a series that really switches things up almost every iteration. Everything is something new, everything is something different, everything is something that's an adjustment. So this is not outside of, Final Fantasy's wheelhouse or Square Enix's wheelhouse when it comes to developing these games. So I I struggle to find the difficulty in understanding why they would go more actiony with this route, why they wanted to commit themselves to that. I mean, just given the nature of how they are, like, bro, these guys know what they're doing and they know they're gonna switch it up almost every time out with these. So I wouldn't. I'm not complaining too much about people having what's it called gripes about having not having the turn-based system or turn-based combat. Do what you guys got to do. Go play another Final Fantasy if that's gonna be your thing, bro. Like it'll come back eventually, but for this one, let's settle in. But the influences have been clearly stated. They said they saw God of War. They saw what I'm saying, games like that from a pure gameplay standpoint. They wanted to really lock in on just the actiony, over the top, really hard hitting, and also really like, combo mix up type of game. It looks so active. I ain't gonna lie. Like I thought it was gonna be a little bit more floaty. I'm saying that it didn't look as heavy on first impression, but looking at it now with this gameplay snippets, bro, it looks like I got punch behind. I got weight behind the stuff I'm doing. I got real weight behind what I'm doing. I feel like I got a real big arsenal of what I can tap into. I feel like there's a skill gap with this. Like somebody like Suna Legend can go into this game and make a whole combination comp throughout a couple different things and make something happen. I feel like there's a lot more, again, a lot more skill and a lot more rewarding gameplay involved in this rather than just couple spam attacks and all that stuff. I feel like the substance is backed up as much as the flash is in this game. To speak candidly on the just some of the, I guess, story of it in general, how it's inspired by some of Game of Thrones and inspired by some of those medieval shows and whatnot. just to kind of have that backing. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that, and I'm cool with them having a more serious tone on it as well. They had a little like side piece as well. The I forget who it was. I think it was Yoshida. Yoshida was like, "Hey, listen, this is going to be a very dark story. This shit is going to be real. We cannot have people going fishing and stuff like that, and like having like little like pickleball matches or blitzball, whatever they called it. This is gonna be some serious shit because it's at war. I like that's kind of related to everything in the story. It's gonna be a little bit more contained. They don't have to have the mini games. It's cool, but I just like that everything is going to weave in from the world. They just being more intentional with what they put into it, and I think that's gonna make for a more rewarding experience overall. So that's dope. Active time lore looks really, really, cool because I'm a sucker for lore. I'm a sucker for story. So the more you can throw that in there, I'm cool with. Dog, the icon fights. The icon fights look ridiculous. Son, I grew up on Power Rangers. I grew up on all that stuff. I wanted to smack the shit out of monsters in a Megazord. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I can do that in sort of active time in some way, shape, or form looks fantastic, feels fantastic, is fantastic. They said they got influences from Ultraman, Neon Genesis Evangelion. That's honestly really cool just to think about. But to see in execution, it looks insane. Insane, bro. Set pieces, action sequences, the gameplay smoothness, the cuts between a cutscene to gameplay, really, really, really encouraging signs, bro. I'm very, very much looking forward to this game, honestly. And then for those people who are tapped into that video game draft stuff, this could be something that some of y'all missed. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This could be something that some of y'all missed if you don't pick it up. So I am very, very actively just give me this game. Again, I am going to slander slightly for black folks, but I will be playing this game. It just looks good.
Yeah, I use that, bro.
Man. I need it. I need it. I need it. Need it. Need it. Need it. Need it. Need it.
Yeah.
And
I can't wait to see
but
I can't wait to see it in person. Like that's the thing is with like Final Fantasy games though, is that, like I was a huge big fan of 15. Like I really was excited for 15. It looked insane to me, but then I got it and I was severely disappointed. So I hope that this isn't that. Because I think that they I think they still got it. I think that this is the one to bring Final Fantasy back into the forefront and back into that gaming conversation. But it's one of those things where like I've seen them fail. I've seen Square Enix fail. I've actually seen them fail more times recently than I've seen them succeed. Like I've seen big fan of Kingdom Hearts play 3 kind of underwhelmed. That was a big flagship title. Final Fantasy 15 big flagship titles, but then you see them soar with Final Fantasy 7 remake and you're sitting there like wow, so they still
yeah.
got it. But we just need to make sure that they didn't that 7 wasn't a fluke because it's Final Fantasy 7. If they like finally realize, hey, it's time to tighten up because we need to tighten up.
hmm Yeah. And they can do it. They can take time. Like look how they worked on Final Fantasy 14. Now I'm not saying it's the same thing in terms of execution because it's two complete different games, but just how they've taken care of IPs in the modern era, they can do it. It's just a sense of do they care enough and how much effort and focus can they put into it? Because when they're spread too thin, things do not look good. When they have a consolidated and united front, things are a lot better. Look at how fractured Kingdom Hearts 3's development was for Square Enix. How it got handed off to one team, then the Osaka team. It was on Luminous Engine, then it was on the Unreal Engine. Things got topsy turvy. Same thing happened with Final Fantasy 15. If they're operating under the same level of stability, I feel like Final Fantasy 16 will be the biggest benefactor of that, and it'll have a really solid release. So, and the fact that they're dropping gameplay this early with the game dropping in June, I feel like that's a really confident sign. I feel like now again they said it, they're just in polishing mode, so they're just putting the last little touches on everything, make sure it's good. I think they're confident, and I have reason to be too. So, I'm with it.